here we go again.
We're back again.
Yeah.
I've actually got the intro this week. Yeah.
Oh no,
No, I've got it
really?
covered.
Oh,
Got it
go
covered.
on
It's
then.
it's a calm
yeah,
one.
go
It's a
on.
calm one.
Okay.
Welcome to the most entertaining and dangerous podcast in the history of listening experiences. You think you've heard it all? Well, you're about to right now, bog roll muncher. So sit down, hold on to your heels, and force a sad fart out. Do you have what it takes to hear the ramblings of legends? Yeah? Really? Piss off, window licker. Because don't forget, you're listening to Don't Forget About the 80's, the podcast.
Oh, you finished?
I'm done, yeah.
Right.
That was...
How long did it take you to write that? How long did it take you to write? Did you sit and write that on your phone? You actually spent time writing it, like.
It's all capitals as well.
Oh, it is as well. So it means you have to shout it. Yeah, like when someone sends you, when someone sends you an email.
Yeah,
and they do it in capital letters. It means I'm shouting really loudly at you. Yeah.
That was my WWE podcast intro.
Nice. Okay.
If I shout this loud, it does actually
come out really.
It
peaks the microphone, doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, we're back again.
We're back again. Yeah. It's been a funny old week, hasn't it?
It's been an interesting one.
Yeah. So
sure.
You'll probably understand why at the end of this podcast.
Yeah.
So, excuse voice, I'm a bit congested. And,
alright, lads.
It's the Pearly King.
Oh, no need to sound so disappointed, lads. Just thought I'd roll up with you, portable Joanna, and
Really?
give you another of
What?
my favourite tunes.
Now, we're right in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not my problem, me old China. You know what'll happen if I can't sing me tunes?
No.
No, I don't know.
What?
Well, me whole Pearly family will have to pay you a little visit.
Oh, shit. Well, you better get on
Nice
with it
one,
then.
lads. Right, here we go. Here we go, lads. Is it gonna be alright? So, Durran. Here we go. Moving on the floor now, babe. You're a bird of paradise. Cherry ice cream smile.
Who's that?
It's very nice.
Have you seen this?
With a step to your left and a flip to the right, you catch a pirouette at West. You know you're something special and you look like you're the best. Yeah! Her name is Maria and she dances on the sand. Just like that river twisted through a dusty land. When she really shows you she can. Rio. That's across the Rio Grande.
Coffee.
I've seen you on the beach and I've seen you on TV.
Stop! I've had enough.
What?
I've actually had enough.
Lads.
Stop.
Lads, no, let me finish. Oh, lads. Lads.
Can you go? Can you just go?
Yeah, we've had enough.
Yeah, but I ain't happy. I really ain't.
Tough. So fold up your Joanna. Yep.
There we go.
How does he get in here?
I've not. I thought
You left the door unlocked again, didn't you?
it might have been me. It might have been me.
Bloke.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
Did you see his hat?
Brilliant. Love the hat. You were right. Buttons galore.
Yeah, very shiny. Have I noticed though? He can't get through a song without his lungs just give out. Don't
They do.
Anyway, welcome back to the Don't You Forget About the 80s
Yeah.
podcast. And this week we are looking at Siouxsie and the Banshees, and we're particularly looking at the 7th album they produced called Tinderbox. Tinderbox, yeah. So before we come on to that,
Yeah.
I had a couple of questions came in
Oh, really?
over the last few days.
Right.
Yeah. And a question from a guy called John in Headingley. Wants to know, when are you going on your next session? Can he join you?
God. What's his name?
John.
John, you're more than welcome
John
to...
T.
John T?
No, John T.
Oh, you didn't give a surname?
No, just put T.
T.
Full stop.
Well, John T.
No, it's John T. Like John Tuppence.
Yeah, all right. How old is he? Did he say?
Didn't say. Just said.
You're more than welcome anytime. If you're one of the cool kids, one of the slick rat gang, you know where to be. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. Okay. And where's the question here? So, Miriam in Brighton wants to know. Paul keeps going on about your background in technical music. What actually is it that you're qualified in?
That sounds quite insulting.
From Miriam in Brighton.
Miriam. Well, I mean, I'm a master's postgraduate in electronic music and computers. This basically means I can whip you up a nice tune. Or a beat. If you're after that. I don't want to get too serious into it because it's not everyone's cup of tea.
No.
But that's what I do.
Or cup of coffee.
Or coffee.
Glass of water.
Yep.
What? Here's a question for you. What is, so you know when you go into like these coffee places,
Yeah,
and you go in for I mean, I don't drink coffee, so I don't really understand it. But what is it with like all these like
different types of coffee?
Yeah, and people go in and say, "Can I have a?" And they reel off this great big long list of to make one cup of coffee. Surely, it's just coffee, isn't it? Surely.
There's not much difference between them, I don't think. Mocha, you get a mocha. It's hot chocolate and coffee.
Aren't they the shoes that Indians wear? No.
Moccasin.
Oh, moccasin!
And then the rest of them I don't know, but some people get like caramel macchiato, and I don't know what that is.
That's Macarena. I think it's a song, isn't it?
Ah, good one. There you go. That's an Indian shoe, isn't it?
With the rubbish dance that goes with it.
Was that all the questions for this week?
That's all I got so far, yeah.
It's funny you mention people writing in.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually going to love this.
Yeah.
Someone moderately famous has called me. I didn't get to the phone in time. They've left me a voicemail.
Right.
And so I've heard it. So I came up here yesterday.
Yeah.
And recorded it into the computer. It took me a while
Yeah.
to work out how to record it from my phone to the computer.
Yeah.
I was just awestruck.
Yeah.
I didn't know who this was to begin with. I had to look it up.
Somebody moderately famous.
I'm not joking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the headphones.
Yeah.
And you're going to love it. You're actually going to love this. This is an exclusive for the Don't You Forget About the 80's podcast. It is an 80's musician.
You're joking.
No, dead serious.
Right.
An 80's.
So
musician.
are the audience going to hear this as well?
Yeah, the audience can hear it as well.
Friday,
Here we go.
5:58 p.m.
Hello, Jacob and Paul. It's me, Craig Adams, the bassist of Sisters of Mercy circa 1981 to 1985. I thought I'd call and just say what a legitimate and very, very, very bomb-diggity podcast you've got. Anyway, my favourite song from 80's is that one that goes like, no, 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 cars, no, 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 cars. But that fella weren't right, were he? Always had a Care Bear stare on stage. Not like myself. Cold. He wasn't gnarly like me cold self, nah. I had a Volkswagen GTI. It was so righteous. Local girls love to sit in my passenger seat and look at me wing mirrors. Sometimes if they're really healthy and lucky, I'd let them adjust the seat and open the glove box compartment that is comprised in front of the passenger seat. Cool, cool times, man. Cool, cool times, man.
Craig!
What?
I need you to do fucking dishes right now!
I'm calling Jake and Paul on that podcast I told you about. I'll get back to you in a fucking minute. Sorry about that, lads. Better get off. Gotta do the dishes, you know. But anyway, Just thought I'd ring and say what a quality podcast you've got. Really bomb diggity and really cool. Don't forget, I was the bassist of Sisters of Mercy from 1981 to 1985. Talk to you soon. Ta-da.
How amazing is that?
Bomb diggity. It's bomb diggity.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
Absolutely fantastic. I can't believe that Craig Adams, the bassist,
Bassist from
he's also the
1981
bassist.
to
Yeah,
1985.
he's also the bassist in The Mission.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
That was his most favourite one, apparently. I think he was quite proud of
Cars.
of being the bassist of Sisters.
Oh yeah, well he would be.
Oh,
Yeah.
surprising that you like Cars. Though.
Yeah, I know.
Different kind of music.
Very different. That's probably what I did. Very
Yeah, yeah.
different to. I mean, Sisters of Mercy, very dark,
It's true.
gothic.
Yeah.
Whereas Gary Newman,
More pop.
pop, yeah, and Cars.
And,
What a single.
Obviously, you love the healthy girls. Let them sit in his car and adjust the seat.
I tell you what surprised me about Craig Adams is the attention to detail he pays to his glove box.
yeah.
I mean, who else would pay attention to detail?
Technicality, isn't it?
It's
But he
just
gets
a
it out
glove
there.
box. Yeah, so he's obviously done a lot of glove box studying.
Absolutely, yeah.
In his time. Well, Craig, thanks for calling in. We really appreciate it. And if any other members of 80s bands would like to
Call in.
you've got the number.
Yeah,
give
absolutely.
us a ring, and we'll.
Well, is there anything you want to say to Craig Adams? Like, because he is a listener.
Yeah, well, Craig. I mean, I admired your bass playing throughout your days with the Sisters of Mercy, and I also admired it with the Mission. But yeah, definitely with Sisters of Mercy, Craig, you were an outstanding bass player, and I'm sure you still are, Craig. I'm sure you're still an outstanding bass player with whatever you're doing. And can I just say, all the very best to you, Craig, and good luck with your endeavours for now and the future.
Brilliant.
And with that, let's get back to Tinderbox by Siouxsie and the Banshees.
Let's do it.
So, a few facts. 7th album. So this was came out in 1986, and by then Siouxsie and the Banshees had they'd moved away. So they were formed back in the punk years, and if you look to the earlier album of Join Hands, which is over here on the other side, they were just in that period on Join Hands of moving away from punk and going into what became the Banshees sound. And then with the Tinderbox album, 5 albums actually later than this one, they'd really established themselves as it's really difficult because like they always get associated with like the kind of goth sound that was around at the time, but I don't see them that way. I think they were far more.
Is that because they looked slightly
Yeah, it's because of the way that Siouxsie looked.
Yeah.
Siouxsie Sue.
So they used is that the Star of David?
Yeah, that's because of the single Israel, which was a little bit before that.
Right.
But because of the way Siouxsie looked, obviously she had like many imitators and ladies and girls that wanted to look like her because she was so very different and pioneering in her look, and it was all new. No one had seen this before. And she was very you talked last time about the Spice Girls and girl power, but people like Siouxsie were doing it 20 years before them.
Right.
So, and yeah, she was a great advocate for like rights for females and stuff like that. And
it was more just, I think, showing girls and like young women at the time that they can definitely do this.
Absolutely.
It's not limited to just men that can do it. If she can do it,
yeah,
they can do it too.
yeah,
Kind of thing. That's
yeah.
quite nice.
And you don't need to conform to what society tells you. If be bold enough to stand out and do your own thing and be who you are.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit in the mould that people think you should.
Yeah.
And especially so, I guess because we were still coming out at that time when there was still not like, I don't know, there's still not today, but equality for women in everything. She was making a statement of, I'll do this on my terms then.
So the rest of the band members are.
So for the
male, female.
Yeah, so male. The rest of the band members.
And
yeah,
she's the lead.
She's the lead. Yeah. So. On this album, they've still got the established Steve Severin on bass and Budgie on drums, but they've got a new guitarist in for this album, just joined them, John Valentine Carruthers, who I'm not sure who he replaced, but because they'd have several iterations of guitarists over the in between years. Robert Smith from The Cure had played guitar for them on I think probably the tour or the album 2 before this, because I think there was an album before this, and I think it was Kiss in the Dream House was the album that he played on, and it's like that era of Israel and Spellbound, which probably most people will know more than anything else. But they were kind of, this album moved in a new direction for Siouxsie and the Banshees, and they were proving that they'd got their own kind of sound, which was, and took them out of that kind of that gothic period, which was really good. So I was going to ask you something else actually, and it's now completely slipped my mind.
Oh,
and I should have written it down.
Yeah, like all the other questions
that I completely forget. But I did want to tell you about the fact. So this came out. I'm going to link this really tenuously now. This came out in
the worst segue ever.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Can I tell you about a little story about the snow?
You can tell me a story about the snow.
Can I tell you
this
about?
This is a childhood story.
This is a childhood story about one frosty winter.
Yeah, go on then.
So where I lived, as you know, I lived in a small village.
Yeah.
That had many copses and thickets.
Yes.
And there was one year, and it snowed really, really heavily. So my house was at the top of a hill.
Yeah.
On a small kind of like newish housing estate, and across from us there's a main road, and there's like a small hill on top of that. And when it used to snow, we used to get make slides with bin bags. So we used to get black bin bags.
How do you make slides out of bin bags?
Heavy duty black bin bags to help me to remember.
But how did you make the slide out of it?
Heavy duty black bin bags.
Why isn't the Pearly King?
Anyway,
gonna beep that out.
So we used to make so we used to get a black bin bag, a heavy duty black bin bag.
Yeah.
Cut an arm holes out in the top for your head and your arms to stick out of. Put them over like a tabard or a tunic, if you will.
Right.
And we used to lay on our backs because it came right down to your knees. You'd lay on your back, lift your arms and legs in the air, and just push off, and you could slide on your back because it would obviously there was no friction against the snow.
Right.
And you could slide down this. So we would make a slide all the way down this hill to the very bottom. So me and my best mate Michael, hi Mike in Atlanta, we'd make these slides going down the hill, and
well, it sounds like a good thing to do.
brilliant game. Yeah. And what you do is one of you would stand at the top. You'd make sure there's no cars coming down the main road, because we make it go across the road and then down the hill to this to the bottom of this. And it was
a bit of excitement, a bit of a.
It was probably about
daring.
Yeah, it was probably about 500 metres long. What? Slide. It was really, really. Yeah, you go all the way down to the bottom of this really long hill. It's brilliant, really good fun.
500 metres?
Yeah,
no
way. Yeah, because no one was about. There was just no cars about. The snow was about 2 feet deep.
That's like longer than the Olympic one.
Yeah, but that's like a downhill ski jump thing. This was like just a road that went all the way down a hill.
Okay.
Anyway, we had. How can I describe this? We had a pal, a chum, if you will. A friend. Probably not. A friend is probably because not quite as close as I would go to as this, but an associate of the same age who we used to kind of knock around with. And this associate of ours was a little bit smaller than Michael and I.
In age?
In stature.
Same age as you?
He was same age, yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit smaller. And there were times when he could be a little bit sarcastic and mocking.
He would be?
Yes. I think that's obviously, now I realise it was probably as a way to combat or, to make up for the fact that he wasn't quite as big as we were.
Yeah.
And felt that, perhaps he got kind of a defence mechanism, probably.
Yeah.
Terrible chair. And so anyway, he stood at he came along, which was a bit of a struggle for him. The snow was 2 feet deep.
Right.
We saw him coming. You could just see his head coming through the snow.
Is this a joke or does this actually happen?
It's real. And he came along and watched what we were doing. And he stood at the top of this hill mocking us for our game of making slides out of heavy-duty black bin bags. And he decided he would throw snowballs at us just as we pushed off.
Right.
So as you push off, you've got this great big face full of snow.
Yeah.
So we decided to compensate for this and thought, do you know what? You may be small in stature, my friend, but it's time you learnt your lesson.
Right.
So we decided to get one of our heavy-duty bin bags off the roll of them that we'd had.
Yeah.
And we thought he might enjoy a ride in the snow as well.
That's nice.
Yeah. So we approached him in a stealthy manner, and we popped him in the bag.
Just
tied it up.
Yeah.
And we just sent him off down the hill.
Oh my goodness. Did you double bag it or just?
We didn't need to.
Didn't need to. Good grief.
So
you bagged the boy and chucked him down a 500-metre hill.
And my lasting memory of it is, from the top of the hill, I realised that I could actually hear him screaming at the bottom of the hill, all the way down. And you know, like you'd think it would fade, you'd hear him go, ah!
Yeah.
It didn't. It was the same volume. And I realised now that he was actually, as he went further down, he got faster and faster.
Yeah.
He screamed louder and louder till he got to the bottom.
How fast do you reckon he went?
Oh,
his max.
Well, because he had no control over it, he must have hit a good 15, 18 miles an hour.
That's quite high.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
And but we did go and untie the bag and let him out because he was like punching it and kicking it.
He
But
couldn't get out a bin bag.
It was a heavy-duty black bin bag. It wasn't just
your
like your run-of-your-mill. And this was the early 1980s, so
so they're like
they're made of like some
2 mil thick.
Yeah, nobody cared about the environment then. Let's just make them as thick as possible.
Right.
And I say heavy duty black bin bags, they were heavy duty. I mean, you could have put rubble in them and it wouldn't have broken them.
Wow.
So we had to use a really sharp knife to cut out the head and armholes. So that young gentleman, if you are watching the podcast, I would like to offer you an apology for what we did.
You're not getting it.
I say I would like to, but I'm not going to, because it did make me chuckle at the time.
It's made me chuckle now.
Yeah. So he, I don't know what happened to him. You know, where he is
Never
now.
heard of him since.
No, I don't know where he
Facebooked
is.
him
No,
or...
no, I have. Yes, I've tried, but not found him. So I don't know where he is.
That is unusual.
Or what he's up to. But if you're watching and you remember the incident, drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, the lawsuit.
Yeah,
Bring a
probably.
lawsuit along.
Yeah. So, what have you got for me this week then?
What have I got?
Yeah. Anything? Nothing?
I gave you Craig Adams voice message.
Craig Adams.
Gave a voice message from a famous person. Doesn't get much better than that, does it?
So what because a bass player from the Sisters of Mercy happened to ring in and leave a message on an answer phone. Well, I could have listened to that.
But you didn't.
Yeah, but
I told him to call me.
Oh, I see. You didn't get him to call like the general line to the studio.
No.
Oh, you got him to call like your private.
Yeah, I sent a bunch of messages out to loads of musicians from the 80s.
Did you?
Yeah.
Who else have you sent them out to?
Well, hopefully we'll hear back and you'll find out.
Oh, I'm intrigued now. I can't wait.
I didn't realise that a lot of 80s musicians no longer with us anymore. A lot of them just not around.
So who are we specifically talking about?
I was looking through like band members of just very famous bands.
Yeah.
So you'd look at like I can't remember them now.
Should we look it up?
It's just I think we'll save it for next time.
We'll look it up for next time.
Yeah.
80s band members that are no longer with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously there's like the very well known ones, aren't there? There's Michael Jackson,
Bowie,
Lord, to you, Lord David of Bowie.
You're not Sir?
Yeah, he ought to be a lord.
Yeah, but he's not.
No, but he should be.
He's a sir.
Yeah. Was he Sir David Bowie?
Yeah.
Should be Lord David Bowie in my book.
Well, he can be.
Yeah, he is. He will be a lord. Georgie Michael.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Prince. Can we call him Prince? We have to call him that strange symbol that he went by. He stopped being Prince and became quite Squiggle, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah. He at one point of his career said, I'm not going to be called Prince anymore, I'm going to be this. And he gave himself some strange symbol. It's like the male and female signs combined and then some random weird squiggly line.
Right.
With
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I've never heard about that.
Yeah, Prince.
Prince. Jimmy Savile.
Can't just throw that one in there. He's not a musician from the 80s. He just happened to be. Oh, we can't go down that line. It's, just it's too controversial.
Oh dear.
We'll probably get this video taken down now.
Yeah, probably. It's not monetised anyway.
No. I'm trying to think of who else. Yeah, so that's
there was a lot of minor band members.
Yeah,
not minor. I don't mean minor. I mean, they're not the front man.
No.
So you don't hear about their names.
No.
But yeah, quite a lot.
No. So
But he was one I got through to.
yeah, excellent. Craig Adams. So we possibly will be featuring a Sisters of Mercy album at some point.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
They're kind of a little bit later in the 80s. I don't really want to go past 85 in my reviews.
85.
Yeah, because for me,
Sorry, are we going to have to rename the podcast now? Don't forget about the first half of the 80s.
No, we will be looking at latter 80s albums, but we want to. I think the best music for the 80s came from 80 to 85.
Right. Okay.
However, Tinderbox 86. So that actually just throws my theory out the window.
Yeah.
It's not a rule. It's not a rule. I'm just saying that I think
Right.
the better music came from the earlier part of the 80s. But that does break the rule because that isn't a fantastic album. Tinderbox, if you can check it out on Spotify, really good album, really good. And if you check out the album before it, which I think is called The Thorn, when it was an EP, but check out Siouxsie the Banshees on Spotify and check out Tinderbox, and I think you'll really enjoy it.
So when
very different sound.
When I typed in Siouxsie and the Banshees to Spotify, it comes up the 5 most popular songs of theirs.
Oh, what are they? Israel? Spellbound.
Spellbound is second.
Oh. Wheels on Fire?
Sorry, Spellbound is third.
Wheels on Fire?
No.
Love in a Void?
Nope.
Playground Twist?
Nope.
The Scream?
Nope.
Oh.
What's first and second place?
Arabian Nights?
Nope. Hong Kong Garden.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That's second.
Dun 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 dun.
Do you know what that one was off? It's not this
Kaleidoscope.
one. Was it?
Yeah.
So a later one. And The Passenger.
Oh, yeah, the cover version they did. The Iggy Pop song.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
I think that's on.
song.
I think that's on. There is an album of cover versions by Siouxsie the Banshees, which I think came just after Tinderbox.
Right.
I'm not particularly up on Siouxsie the Banshees. My knowledge isn't that good of them. Kim's knowledge of Siouxsie the Banshees was outstanding. She knew or knows everything about them. Yeah, but mine's not brilliant. So.
Well, and we call ourselves an 80s podcast.
We do, don't we? And I feel a bit disappointed and let down by myself now.
You should be.
Yeah, I should.
Should have done your research.
Yeah.
What was it you told me your research was before we started?
Assume nothing, presume nothing. Checking and taking action that cheers results. In fact, I remembered now who told me that.
Who?
It was a guy called Rick Williamson, a guy who I worked for at some time, and he actually said like this. Assume nothing, presume nothing. Checking and taking action achieves results.
With the rolling R.
Yeah. With lip it.
we make fun of the Northerners so much on this
so
podcast.
beaten up.
Oh dear. Well, was he actually someone you worked for?
I was, yeah, many years ago.
Because it sounds like something with that. When you put the voice on it, it sounds like it
he
fits
was
him so well.
somebody I worked for many years ago. Yeah, he was. Good guy actually. Yeah, I enjoyed working for him. Yeah, very firm but fair.
Okay.
As they used to say.
Okay.
Yeah, good guy he was. Yeah, and he moved on all too soon, which was a bit of a shame because where I was working at the time went downhill very, very quickly after he'd gone.
Ah,
So,
yes.
Never mind.
Of course.
I
forgot what I was saying.
We were talking about musicians that had died who were from the 80s.
And that was all I had to say about it. So I couldn't
What made you think of that?
Because I was trying to get in contact with loads of them.
Oh, right.
So I'd look them up, and then it'd just be like, from to, and I'd be like, oh.
So I think we should, if you're going to link that in, we could give a shout out to Nigel. Nigel will know why.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that little section was for you, Nigel.
Yeah. Enjoy that one.
Yep. So that moves me on nicely. That moves me on nicely to Doctor. Yeah, you wanted to know about matadors, didn't you?
No. No.
You
I didn't want to know about what matadors are or anything. I just wanted to know why you shout matador randomly.
Oh, I thought you wanted to know what a matador was.
I know
when
what
you
they
asked
are. The bull blokes.
The what?
Bull bloke.
Bull bloke?
Yeah.
What, like half man, half bull, like a minotaur?
No, that's
That'd be minotaur, not matador.
Yeah, stop doing that. That's gonna be so loud. Why do you shout it?
I don't think that I do. I think I just mention it. I thought you had a keen interest in matadors.
I've got no. No.
Well, what? Why is it I've seen you donning a bright crimson cloak and strutting in like a bolero suit?
I've not been doing that at all. That's a figment of your imagination.
Really?
Speaking of seeing each other in weird outfits,
Yes. Yes.
as everyone
What?
watches this right now, there's going to be a picture on the screen, and I can show you what the picture is going to be.
What, it's actually going to pop up in the podcast?
Yeah, as in, I'm going to put it in after.
Oh no, this is going to be
You know what this is gonna
someone has
be.
found the picture, haven't they, of the
Yep.
of the pink trousers
Yes.
and the shirt with the ruff
You are correct.
from the Duran Duran podcast.
It was from the Duran Duran podcast.
Who found the picture?
I can't really tell you, but that one's gone up.
Oh my life.
That's
So,
showing what Dad's looking at now
so-
is on there.
So let's just bring something in here. I think I can recognise who would have given the picture in. It would have been the person standing with me, who, when we were talking to about this a few days ago, actually asked us to mention that she said, "Oh, that's the picture with me with my hands inside a muff,"
Whoa! What?
and then started laughing her head off, wasn't it?
I didn't hear her say that bit. That was
Sarah, you know what you said.
So
Yeah.
that's on there.
Yeah.
That one, where for some reason you've got.
See, that picture is
horrifying.
That's what I had to go to the party. They're very high up, aren't they?
They are. You look like the Slenderman.
I look like Simon Cowell as a young man.
Yeah, you do.
Why have I got those hoisted so high? They're almost into my
And
armpits.
whose belt did you borrow? You borrowed your dad's belt.
It was a belt I got from I had a dressing up kit to dress up as a giant.
You did
I
not.
did. I had like an axe and everything.
And so you put that belt
I
on.
used the belt from I didn't have a belt that fit those trousers, so I thought, I've in my giant dressing up outfit, I've got a belt that will fit these trousers.
Your Andre the Giant belt.
Well, I don't think he was around then. It was more of
And
a.
then you and Sarah with both.
Oh, I like that. So I've got sky blue stay press on, and we've both got a wedge haircut.
Yeah.
Those of you who from the 80s will remember the wedge.
Well, I'm going to put it on the screen anyway.
Oh, great! So you'll be looking at it. So look at those fetching socks. But that's come round again, hasn't it? See, look what I was wearing there. People now wear short trousers, short white socks, and slip-on shoes. Grey suede slip-ons. I love those shoes. And a bomber jacket.
Well, no. It's not come back around. Blue jeans have always been around.
That's different. Yeah, but that style of wearing... No, I'm not wearing blue jeans. I'm wearing sky blue stay press trousers. So skinny fit trousers.
No one wears like chinos that are skinny.
They're not chinos. They're stay press. It's
What's
different.
What's stay press?
Stay press. You have to look that up. I'm not going to tell you what that is.
Oh, it's a secret from the 80s.
Yeah. A special kind of
I'm
trouser.
telling you, no one wears those. No one wears slip-on loafers.
Yeah, but they all wear trousers that come up to like halfway down their, way above their ankles, and white socks.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, you're wearing exactly what we used to wear in the 1980s.
I'm wearing jeans and white
Jeans,
socks.
I'm wearing jeans.
I'm wearing jeans.
I'm wearing a jeans. And I talk like this, like an Italian man.
I'm wearing the jean.
Hey, Tony! Tony from New York! I like that picture. I think I look rather cute.
Oh, all right then. Well, never mind. Well, there we go. Thought you'd enjoy that.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome. We're
And,
37 minutes in.
Are we? So we're stringing it out now to try and make the podcast
Yeah.
as long as it normally does.
You haven't told us anything about the album.
So, about the album. Well, first of all, I want to show you the inner sleeve. Because
There we go.
Here is a absolutely... Look at these pictures. So, if you're on Spotify, I'm sorry.
It's not on there yet anyway until the
So-
end of season 1.
You've got, from left to right, Budgie, Siouxsie, Steve Severin and John Valentine Carruthers. Look at Siouxsie. Doesn't she look awesome? And
Looks
again,
like she hasn't got eyes.
you can see, look at the sleeve. Oh God, I can't ever do this. But look at the quality of the inner sleeve that you get with an album, and all the lyrics are on there as well.
That's a lot easier to read, those
Isn't
lyrics,
it?
than it's... You look
Yeah.
at the Duran Duran ones, they're all over the shop.
Yeah, they are. I mean, that's to be a little bit quirky. So 2 singles off this, I think there were. Candyman was one of the singles, and Cities in Dust were singles as well. And I think this album got to about number 13 in the charts, so it did really well.
In the UK?
Yeah, in the UK charts.
Did they ever break the US?
They did do well in the US. They released their albums on a different... again, these were on Polydor, and I think they released it on a slightly different label in the US. It's Polydor's United States subsidiary. Interesting fact about this: the cover photo is a very, very famous photograph taken by Lucille Handberg, and it's that's in Jasper in Minnesota, and that was actually taken in 1927. 1927. Do you think that's amazing?
That's very cool.
So it's kind of very Wizard of Oz-ish, isn't it? Because there's this, you got this
Tiny little hut.
yeah, like a wooden shack,
Yeah.
and then the tornado's approaching it.
Gigantic
And
tornado.
you kind of think, do you think it hit it and blew it apart, or did it just keep going? But it's yeah, that photograph is very, very famous. The other thing I like about this is on the inner sleeve, they also put on it, so they tell you who's in the band, what instruments they play, who wrote all the songs, and then at the bottom,
Their favourite sweetie.
No, what would you like a sweetie?
I knew you were going to do a Chris Eubank.
Would you like a sweetie? Sweetie? It's a smartie.
It's a smartie.
They put the fan club information.
Fan club?
Yeah, so you can join the Siouxsie the Banshees fan club, because all bands in the 80s had fan clubs,
Oh, okay.
so you could join the fan club. And I thought that was pretty good. Great album.
What's the fan club bit?
At the very bottom, look. Join the fan club. You could do that on most bands in the 80s.
Don't understand what that means though.
So you would join a fan club, and you'd write off, and
it's just an address.
yeah, you write to the address, and they send you an application form. You fill it in and send off your cheque or postal order. In those days, you don't know what a postal order is, do you? So
No.
do you know what a cheque is?
Yes, I know what a check is.
Um,
That's what you put in a box when something's correct.
that's a tick.
Yeah, check.
No, a cheque's like a piece of paper you'd write out
Check.
Yeah. money on it.
What's a
and
postal order? I should know what that is.
yeah, you used to be able to go into a
Some
so if you want to send, instead of sending cash in the post, if you wanted to send off for like something in the post, before the days of Amazon and Mr. YouTube and Lord Google, you would
Why didn't you give Amazon that title?
what?
Mr. or Sir?
Because Amazon's very special to me. So is Mr. YouTube. It's just some of his
Or is it Mrs.
some of his rules I don't agree with, especially when you're trying to do album reviews and you just can't play any of the music, so people can't hear it. That's another thing.
Right. I hate that.
So what you would do is, if rather than send cash through the post, you'd go to your local post office and you take in your money, and you'd say, "I'd like a postal order, please," and you'd hand over your money. Say, "I want a £5 postal order." "Hello, I've decided to join Siouxsie and the Banshees fan club. It's £5 a year. I need to send them a £5 postal order." So you go into the post office. "Here's my £5," and they'll give you a special printed form, like a little tiny certificate that says this is worth £5. You'd send that in the post to the wherever it's going to go to, and they could either take it into another post office and cash it in, they'd give you £5 back, or you could take it into the bank and pay it in the bank, and they'd put £5 into your account.
Oh, okay.
But you had to sign it. It had to be signed at both ends.
It's odd that they do that.
Why?
Well, because the post office has a lot of power then over monetary value.
They did. It was one of those organisations that had like loads of influence and power.
Queen still owned it.
Yeah, until it was sold off. Whenever it was in 2012, was it 13?
Something
like that. Yeah.
I had no idea that's how it worked.
Yeah, so very often on your birthday, you'd open your birthday card, and if you got a nice auntie who liked you especially, and she didn't send you, rather than buying you a present that you hated, she'd send you a postal order for some cash. You'd go, "Whoa, I've got a postal order." There were different colours for different denominations. So then you could take your postal order into the post office and cash it in. You're like, "Yes, I've got cash." Now I can
and how much was £5 equivalent back in the day?
£5.
To today?
It was worth £5.
Was it? Nothing's changed, has it?
Oh, you mean like, what was the equivalent of...
Yeah.
So, in relative terms, an album cost about £3.50. £4 at the most. A 12-inch single was about £1.99, and a single was about £1. So how much is a CD now?
I don't buy them.
Oh, I don't either.
£8.
More than that, aren't they?
No, I reckon about £8.
Well, they've gone down because the production costs are so much cheaper now.
No one wants them
No,
either.
but when they're at their height, I think a CD was
14?
was about £14-15. So you could buy a vinyl album for about £3.99.
So it's about 3-4 times
Yeah,
higher now.
yeah. Which would be about right, wouldn't it, with the rate of inflation over the...
I have no idea. That's why I asked.
Yeah. So, yeah, you got a £2 postal order from your auntie or your gran in the post for your birthday.
You could buy a few vinyls.
You could buy yourself a 12-inch.
Oh no, sorry, 2 singles.
2 singles. You go out and buy your 2 favourite singles. So you could have gone and bought yourself Vienna and Joe Dolce. And if you'd have bought
That's
both
the
of
ice
them...
cream, isn't it?
No.
What's that?
He sang that song "Shut Up in Your Face" that kept Vienna off number 1.
Oh,
Disgusting.
God, yeah.
The little guy with the bloody
Discussed that the other day.
banjo thing. But yeah, you could go buy yourself a couple of singles, £2. You could buy probably about 20 bags of crisps
Whoa.
for £2.
Did you ever do that?
No.
Oh.
You could buy a hot meal, a coat, a pair of stout shoes, and a ticket to see Rotherham against Sunderland for £2.
All of those things?
Yeah.
Coat, hot meal. Why a coat?
A good solid overcoat, keep you warm. Pair of stout
Within
shoes.
the £2?
Yeah, you could go and buy yourself a ha'porth of rock salmon and chips.
Oh, right, okay. I don't know what's going on here, if this is lyrics or something.
No, it's not. I'm just telling you what
Being pranked.
£2 would buy you.
£2 doesn't buy a coat.
It would have done.
No
A
way.
good solid overcoat.
No way.
Yeah, it would.
My overcoat I just bought a week ago cost me £100.
Yeah, but you got it off like ASOS or something.
Yeah.
So it's all relative, isn't it?
Where'd you get yours from?
Charity shops.
Made it out of newspapers.
You slipped into Jeff Dozer again there.
Charles Dozer.
Charles Dozer, yeah.
I did. I keep doing it.
Delicious Chinese meal, a succulent Chinese coat, stout pair of shoes.
Oh, gentlemen, this is charity overcoat.
I love that guy.
too.
So postal orders was the way to go.
Wow.
So if you want to
Don't do
send
those
us a
anymore.
postal order, we'd love to see one. If anybody's got a postal order, they can send in. We could show people what a postal order looks like because they were.
Yeah, that's cool.
They look really cool as well. They look like.
I'm going to have a look.
Yeah.
Sounds really good.
So on that bombshell,
On that,
it's time for us to go.
it is indeed.
So thank you very much again for this week.
As always.
And we'll be back again next week with another exciting offering in vinyl from the 80s.
We will. There may be another phone call.
I can't wait.
Hopefully
I'm so
someone gets back
excited
to
about
me.
who it could be.
I know. God forbid it's Craig Adams again.
Oh, if Craig comes back. Craig. Oh, just before we go, I have had there was a text message from Postlethwaite's Pies.
Oh, okay.
They're still going.
Wow.
And they said they're going to send us some samples.
Brilliant.
Some Postlethwaite
Okay.
Pies samples for us to try.
Are they big?
I don't know. That's all I
Yeah,
got.
but
It was just said Postlethwaite's Pies. We've
That's incredible.
we saw your podcast and
Oh, do you reckon they'd sponsor us?
that'd be awesome.
Do you want to get onto them about that?
Well, let's get the pies first.
Oh yeah,
I'm
sorry,
not
we're
go-
going to test them first.
Yeah, I mean let's test the pies first.
Okay.
And Postlethwaite's Pies was good today as they've always
You
been.
mocking them is
The
not going to get us
taste
a
of
sponsor.
North.
Brilliant. Right.
Thanks for watching this week's podcast.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Until then, thanks for watching. Don't you forget about the 80s. Here's the music. Bye.